Well, hello and welcome to a new series. That's right, I thought about it for a little bit and decided that I'd give it a go. This right here is going to be a big one. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Released in November of '98 on the Nintendo 64 and made a huge success not only for Nintendo but also in the video game industry in general. This right here was a huge starting point for me and for my love of the Legend of Zelda franchise. This right here is going to be a fun one, it's going to be interesting, it's going to be a full, complete 100% walkthrough. So, I encourage you to stay tuned for all of these to see what this game has in store. Okay, welcome to actual gameplay. Here we are. This is our house. You can press up on the C controls and then it'll change your camera angle from top to, in the middle. Anyways, when you're done messing around, go ahead and go outside. And welcome to the first area of the game. Very important part. So, here we are in Kokiri Forest, very first area of the game. There's a whole bunch of people around this town you can talk to. However, though, this right here, Saria here, you can talk to her and she'll just be excited for you, knowing that you have a fairy, of course. It's very exciting, of course, because Kokiri are not considered true Kokiri without a fairy. That makes sense. So, our job now, of course, as Navi just told us, we need to go and see the Great Deku tree. So, not exactly an easy task, and I'm going to explain to you why. Because if you remember from the cutscene, there was a dude sort of standing in the way from the very small corridor to pass through. So here he is, you get close, and then you'll notice that he's blocking your way. Look, you try to get around him, and you seemingly can't. So go ahead and talk to him and see what the holdup is. So, of course, this right here is Mido? I've always led more towards Mido. I don't know, that's always how I've said it as a kid. So he's going to be all stingy and he's going to complain and say that you can't pass through without a sword and a shield, even though that he doesn't have either of those things. So that makes him more suitable than that makes us. Okay, so of course you can look around, try and figure out where you can get these things. It's not too hard to figure that out. I'll tell you where you can get them, so don't worry about that. Now then, our mission. Find a sword and a shield. Well, actually, there is a shield available here in this village. Like in the shop right here. That's what this building is to the left. Also, every so often, Navi will call upon you. You can press up on the C controls, and then you can talk to her. Again, she'll just tell you the obvious. And as soon as you come up over here to this building with the red roof, this girl here will interrupt you, telling you about Z-targeting. This is a awesome tactic, an awesome quirk, I guess, really, to 3D Zelda games. The way that it works is that you stand near an interactable object, you can press the Z button to, of course, target it, as the name suggests, and then you press the A button to interact with it. So it works for people, signs, as well as other interactable objects, as well as enemies, which we will encounter later on. As well, whenever you don't have anything to target, you look around, you can just press the Z button to change your camera angle to face forward. That is probably my favorite thing about Z targeting in any Zelda game ever. So let's go inside. Here's the shop, as I've said. So you can talk to the owner right here, and he will tell you something very important. We sell shields, but not swords. There's the shield, 40 rupees. And I guess now would be an appropriate time to talk about what rupees are. You can snag a quick 5 to the side of the counter there. Anyway, rupees are the currency of Legend of Zelda games, if you were not aware. Of course, you can also do a secret by jumping across those stones there, and then you can get 5. The color of rupees determines their worth, but for now, there are only 3 main common ones you have to worry about. The green is worth 1, the blue is worth 5, and the red is worth 20. There are more colors than that, but those are just the main ones to worry about right now. Anyways, you can come up here and snag a quick 5 rupees next to this girl right here. She's going to talk to you about the other functions of the C up stick. So if Navi is not bombarding you, you can press C up and then move the control stick around to look around in first person mode. Which I also kind of want to talk about something else. This game originally was planned to be played with a first-person perspective, but I guess the team didn't like the idea, seeing as to how you wouldn't really see Link, and maybe it wouldn't be that, I don't know. I guess they wanted to give Link more of a relatable personality, so they decided to pull it back to third person. Anyway, enough about that. You can walk through some of the grass to collect some green rupees, and they will regenerate after every time you leave and reload the area. So you could go inside of a house and then come back out, and then they will be back there again. So up here, this is the Forest Training Center. Very interesting place in this game. Not very necessary though, but I just thought it would be cool to point that out. There are so many signs and people to talk to for information. I suppose that's a good idea, though, as to new players who will have no idea how to do anything. Very useful here. So, this sign right here tells you about some Z targeting and some backflip that you can do. And look at that, I'm gaining some rupees. Now to do a backflip, you press the Z button, or you hold it down if you're not targeting anything. You walk backwards, and then you press the A button to do a backflip. Now this right here, I'm going to talk to you about the action icon. So the blue icon, if you're playing this on the Nintendo 64, is going to be the A button. The green one is going to be the B button, and then of course the yellow ones are the C buttons. Now if you look around, you will see the action icon has various different things it says depending on whatever it is you're doing. And just read the action icon. Whatever it says is what action you're going to perform by pressing the A button. Although kind of misleading, attack says attack, but it's roll. That boulder can hurt you, but your first reaction is probably to hide, but just stand to the side, and it follows the path around this column here in the center, so you shouldn't have to worry about it too much. There's a blue rupee in that grass there. Go ahead and snag it and make your way over to this south corner right here, where there is a very, very big chest. Go ahead and open it up to receive your very first prize, the Kokiri Sword, which looks like a very pathetic dagger. And now this is the first piece of gear that is collectible in the game. So, on to equipping it, you want to go ahead and press the start button, and then you can press the Z and the R button to navigate left and right pages. There are 4 different screens here. What you want to do is go over to equipment, and then press the A button to select it. And then you can press B to save if you would like. Alright, now, on to some sword training lesson. You can just press the B button to swing the sword, of course, now that we have it. Of course, let me get into more proper mode. This sign just tells you more information on where you can go. So, how to use the sword. Let's do it. Press the B button to slash, hold down Z and press the B button to swing vertically, walk forward and then press the B button to do a thrust, and then hold down the B button and then release to do a spin attack. And to do a jump attack, hold Z and press A. As well as to do a quick spin attack, you can rotate the control stick once and then press B. Now that you have some sword training down, I of course would suggest you practice, before you actually fight. So as you can see, I do have 42 rupees. That is enough to purchase the shield, but I wanted to show off a few more places that you can collect rupees before actually getting the shield. Alright, now that we have that aside, let's go ahead and put some of this to use. You can cut grass with your sword, which is the most useful thing to do in a Zelda game, of course. Why else do you get a sword, right? It's not for fighting enemies, it's just for cutting grass. You can cut these signs, so if you want to avoid cutting them, just stand like this, hold Z, and then press the B button to cut them. If you do accidentally cut the signs and you want to read them, just go inside of a house and then leave. Anyway, this is the house of the Know-It-All Brothers. This is what that sign was talking about, next to the treasure chest with the Kokiri Sword. So if you have any questions, you can just go there. Anyways, on to this house now. This is actually Mido's house, the guy who was blocking our path of the Great Deku Tree. And he's apparently the boss of the Kokiri, and he's the stingy one, as I've said before. So you can open up his treasure chests and collect all of his rupees, which therefore makes Link a thief, but it's a video game, who cares? Anyway, the 3 chests have rupees, but this one actually instead has a recovery heart. Now, I did know it has a recovery heart. I opened it even though I didn't need it, just to show it off. Normally, whenever I play, I just kind of leave it closed for the entire game, because I'm elsewhere and I get recovery hearts that way. Okay, you can go ahead and jump across these again for rupees, but there is another version you can get rupees from this as well, and I'll show that afterward. Alright, finally it's time to purchase the shield. So, you want to go ahead and purchase it for 40 rupees. There it is. It's equipped the same way as the sword is equipped, and there is quite some lag I've noticed in this video. I'll try and fix it next time, but as for this one, I have no idea what's going on. Alright, once you're done with that, go ahead and open up your sub-screens and go over to Equipment, and then press the A button to equip it. Now we are properly equipped, and we can go and see the Great Deku Tree now. But before that, I wanted to show off the other method of getting rupees too. It's not jumping in the water there. So what you want to do, you come out of this house here, and then you jump across these platforms here, and then you can get a blue rupee. If you're playing on the Nintendo 3DS version, that one has been removed. You can only do it from the 3 stones before. Alright, now it is time to pay a visit to the Great Deku Tree, since we are properly equipped. We are equipped like a soldier. So stingy old Mido here is going to be very upset in the fact that you actually were able to get a sword and shield. I guess he didn't think you would be able to, but that just goes to show that you should never doubt anything. So after all that, he'll finally move out of the way and get your sword out, because it is finally time to put them to use for combat. Here we go. These are the first enemies of the game. These are Deku Babas, and there are two versions of them. This one right here is the withered version, and it drops Deku sticks when you kill it. So there is another version, however, we haven't encountered them yet, so stay tuned for that. Alright, now I'm going to talk about C items. You can select a C item, of course, on the select item subscreen, and then you can use it by pressing any one of the C buttons except for C up. Now you can go ahead and kill them, and they do regrow after a few seconds, so you can wait on them, I guess, and kill them if you want. You can only carry up to 10 Deku sticks, but when you're done with that, go ahead and see the Great Deku Tree. So our mission is to venture deep within the Great Deku Tree. However, that is not for now, so join me in the next video where I will be doing that.